What's up, agents? Jetforth here, and here is my Title Update 6 updated Seeker Mine build that is capable of doing 1,717,704 damage with a 12.6 second cooldown. Now this build does have almost 100,000 more armor and 40,000 more health than my previous build. And even on top of that, another 400,000 damage. Sick. I am liking Title Update 6, not gonna lie. Now I'm sure already at this point you are like, show me some open world footage, my dude. Well, unfortunately I can't. I've been trying all day already, trying to get clean numbers in the open world, and I just can't. I got to the point where I was getting so frustrated that I wanted to throw my controller through my TV because either there's loot drops in front of it or the numbers are stacking on top of other numbers, and it just, I quit. No. But any of my subscribers and anybody who has copied any of my Seeker builds can tell you that I do not bull cockadookie, and these are real builds. If you are new to this channel, subscribe! Now, one of the biggest questions I know I'm going to get is, why don't you just make a hardwired build? You get instant Seeker, you know, whatever. I guarantee you right now, I'm calling it right now, it's gonna get nerfed. They're gonna put a cooldown timer on it, something, that's just the reality of it. Sorry, sad but true. This, however, I think is going to be safe, and that's why. Now I'm going to save all my babble about TU6 build stuff for the end and not do it during the video, and I already talked too much, so let's just get into the build, shall we? For our specialization, we will be going with the Technician, obviously, because it's new and it's fun. For the plus 50% skill power, all the other wonderful accoutrements, love the EMP grenade, and the plus 10% skill damage. Now, when it comes from switching to the grenade launcher to this, it does take a little bit of adjustment, and I know people are calling it a Nerf gun. This thing is actually quite rather powerful, and mine isn't even fully upgraded yet. But yeah, it takes a little getting used to and not being able to devastate everything with a grenade launcher. Alrighty, on to weapons. For my primary, I'm using a tactical UMP 45, 21.9 damage, 600 RPM, 50 mag. Talents: Spike, headshot kills grant plus 35% skill damage for 20 seconds. Requires 5 or more utility. Jazz hands, plus 10% reload speed, and stop, drop, and roll. While equipped, rolling removes burning, bleed, and poison status effect. Can occur once every 60 seconds. Now, a quick little blip of information and why I'm not using perpetuation and recharged anymore is because they do not do anything for Seekers anymore. Doesn't add stacks, doesn't add anything, so yeah, that sucks, but is what it is. Opens it up to other possibilities, I suppose. Now on to our secondary weapon, which I am using a hunting M44, a sniper rifle. Announcer voice. Damage 129.1k, RPM 55, 6 mag size. Talents: Lucky shot, magazine capacity is increased by 20%. Missed shots from cover have a 100% chance to return to the magazine. I'm a scrub, and yeah, kind of need this. In all honesty, you should probably switch this to Spike. I want to, but I'm going to use this for a different build, and I just don't have the heart to do it. Optimize, plus 15% weapon handling, which, man, does that make it stable and it doesn't move. And then Rooted, while equipped and in cover, all skill damage and healing is increased by plus 25% for 10 seconds. Buff is lost when exiting cover, can occur once per 60 seconds. I really wish they would bring this down to 30 seconds, in all honesty. Not saying, I'm just saying. And finally, the Sidearm, which I am using a D50. The damage is 51.8k, a 150 RPM, 8 magazine size. That probably doesn't matter. Talents: Spike, headshot kills grant. Do I have to say that again? Accurate, plus 15% accuracy. In rhythm, this one's important. While equipped, enemy kills have a 5% chance to refresh active skill cooldowns. Can occur once every 60 seconds. Again, I think that should be dropped to 30 seconds. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Now, you do not need to use these specific weapons, but I would suggest using the combinations of talents that I am using. But, you know, RNG, how everything works out, blah, 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 blah. On to moi. For the mask, we are using an MJ54 China Light Industries, armor 20.1k. For the plus 10% explosive damage, attributes, plus 21% skill haste, plus 40% skill power, modified. Destructive, plus 400% explosive damage. And yeah, that's it for that. Next up, we have our chest piece, which is an Iguana Halberg, I think I'm saying that right, Helagard chest piece. Armor, 38.9k. For the plus 5% total armor, attributes, plus 15% total armor, utility, 1019 skill power, and plus 24,760 health. Talents, hardened, plus 15% armor. For our mods on this wonderful chest piece, we have a utility slot, which has plus 62% skill power, plus 3% explosive damage, and 3% extra outgoing healing. Defensive mod slot has a 7,956 armor, plus 1.5% total armor, 5% health regen, and finally, plus 10,024 health, 7% shock resistance, and 7% burn resistance. I don't know how many of you have seen a mod like that, but I've had that for a while, and boy, did I get lucky. On to our Artemis, a fast draw holster, which is an Araldi Holdings for the plus 10% accuracy. Attributes, plus 49% skill haste, which I do realize that is a god roll for sure. And for the mod slot, it is offensive, which I have a plus 1% weapon damage, plus 5% SMG damage, and plus 1% damage to armor. Pretty good, I guess. Next up, we have the I Hate You Jet piece of the build, which is the backpack. And in case you're wondering, I just got this as a random drop in Jefferson Trade Center, which is the Persuasive Maintenance Alps Summit, which is formerly known as the Element Outdoors Rucksack. So it's the same backpack, just the named version of it, and I've used it in plenty of different builds. This wonderful backpack comes with plus 20% skill haste, attributes, 20,538 health, 39% skill haste, which is pretty decent. Talents, perfect tech support, kills by active skills and explosives grant 30% damage for 10 seconds. The non-perfect version of this is 25%, so it's not that huge. Hard hitting, plus 25% damage to elites, and then on to the mods, which are, but not limited to, 115 skill power, plus 3.5% explosive damage, 1% grenade damage. Then we have plus 144 skill power, 1% extra outgoing healing, and plus 2.5% explosive damage, and that sums it up for the backpack. And on to the BTSU gloves, which I'm straight up editing to a previous video because I'm not reading this out again. Sorry, not sorry at all. Skip ahead because I'm sure everybody knows what these are. Elemental Gadgetry. Skills that apply status effect gain plus 50% status effect duration and plus 50% skill haste. Energy Infusion. Whenever you apply a status effect, your gloves become infused with that effect for 60 seconds. While infused, you gain plus 10% skill damage, plus 10% skill healing and repair, and plus 10% skill duration for each yellow you have. Applying the same status effect while infused does not refresh the infusion. But what I did learn in my previous video that I put up, which if you really want to know a lot more about these, you know, wink wink nudge nudge, is say that you infused yourself with a shock damage, and say you have incendiary rounds in your sidearm and you shoot them with said incendiary rounds, that will refresh it mid whatever refreshing on its cooldown or while it's counting down. So you can finagle it a little bit. I don't know if you're probably not supposed to be able to do that, but you can. And then we have a charged proxies. Whenever you throw a skill 1.25 seconds after landing, it creates an explosion, applying the infuse status effect to all enemies within 6 meters. Pretty self-explanatory. Enemies affected by the infuse status effect take 50% more damage from your skills. Hey, thanks Jet from the past, that was wonderful. And finally, it's the knee pads where I just get completely bored. But yeah, no Scuba Steve today. Wait, but John. No, sorry, dude. Let's just get this done. We will be using the Urban Warfare knee pads by Providence Defense. These come with a 28.7k armor for the plus 10% skill power and plus 25% skill haste. Kinda upset about this because I had a 29% skill haste and I re-rolled them, and about 6 hours later they said that they increased the reroll. You know what? We're not going to talk about it. Talents, Surge, plus 20% skill haste. And for the mod slot, it is offensive, plus 2.5% weapon damage, plus 2% rifle damage, plus 3% SMG damage. And that is it for the build. And now it's time for me to babble about stuff. So first things first, yeah, like I said in the beginning, I definitely think Hardwire is going to get a nerf. They're probably going to put a cooldown on it, and I don't know. I'll probably do a Hardwired build. Maybe I'll post it, maybe I won't. But yeah, I don't see that lasting for a very long time, in all honesty. As for TU6, the build diversity and everything that's been going on with it, I really like it, in all honesty. And even with this build by itself, for whatever you want to call it, like, there's a lot of other things that you can do to change things around in here. Like, you don't necessarily need to use the Providence Defense knee pads. You could probably put, like, you know, a Fenris group knee pads, or I don't know, something along that lines to increase your weapon damage, or however else you would want to do it. You know, depending on what your skill power is and other stuff. I know that some of the roles that I have are god tiered, but some of them aren't, and you can mix match and do other things, especially with the technician and how much skill power it actually adds to your dude. It is pretty ridiculous what we'll be able to do with the technician. Like, there's a lot of hybrid builds that I am seeing in my head that I'd actually want to do. My main reasoning for remaking this build is just I wanted to bring my original Seeker build back into the world again, because I love my Seeker build. And I know a lot of you guys based your builds off of my builds, or you had similar builds to what I built. And I just wanted this back. I really did. The only thing that sucks about it is that we can't cancel out our Seekers anymore once they hit the ground. So in reality, like, this build is the same as the original one that I had built, which it was around 12-13 seconds cooldown. But once you cancel the Seeker out, you got 6 seconds, and that's just not there anymore. But that's all right, I guess. You know, with the amount of damage that the turret does, I think the turret is around like 16-second cooldown. Plus, once you cancel it, or however it works, you know, it does some hella damage. I think top damage I've seen come out of it was like 80,000 something. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say for right now. I'm gonna make some videos and stuff about Title Update 6 and my thoughts on it and this. I don't want to complain too much or talk too much in here, because this is already at, like, I don't know, 11 minutes or something like that. But next up, unfortunately for this build, I'm going to set it aside, and I'm going to start working on an SMG build, which I said I was going to make my build a while ago, but I actually have all the pieces for it. That's not in the PTS, and I actually have them now, so I'm going to start working on that. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, and for those of you who made it this far on the video, and a lot of the dedicated subscribers know that I have a Discord, and I posted all of the pictures of this build on that Discord already. Link is in the description. The only thing that changed in there was a couple of the mods, but I didn't show the mods in the Discord, so you're gonna see like 3,000 something for the turret. and then 32 something for the Seekers, as opposed to it being 3075, 3075, which is pretty awesome how it worked out. But anyways, that's it, guys. I'm shutting up. Please hit the like button if you could. That would be super awesome. Oh yeah, leave a comment about what you think and all that other junk about this build and this stuff. Any suggestions for other people and whatnot. And if you are new to this, make sure you come back if you want to see new suggestions, because these super awesome crazy subscribers on here are skill builders mostly, and they leave some pretty awesome suggestions. And that's it. I'm shutting up. Subscribe and all that other junk, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace.